Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is April and this week I'm gonna show you how I fixed up this super cute black dress that had some holes in the skirt and a broken zipper in the back. I hope you enjoyed this video and let's get started. This is the original dress. The material is a black corduroy and I'm so in love with the silhouette of it. Plus, it has pockets. It is quite worn though because there's a couple holes in the front of the skirt and in the back. And the zipper is broken as well. So instead of just patching up the holes with black fabric, I'm going to cut out the embroidery from this new fabric and applique it on the skirt. First, you want to lay the fabric flat and find a pattern you want to follow. I kind of just look for where there's an opening between leaves or flowers where they aren't connected. I'm starting with these long vertical pieces and then I can trim it down later to fit my desired look. I also left some tulle around the edge for seam allowance. You can always trim more away after sewing it on. Next is the longest but most creative part, playing around with where you want the pieces to be placed around the skirt. I know the applique has to be placed high enough to cover the holes in the front and back, and I mainly just wanted them to cover the bottom of the skirt. Once you have a good idea of the placement, you can trim the pieces to fit your vision. Pin your first piece in place and then play around with the next piece. I decided I want the applique to alternate in height, so it starts tall at the center front and then the next piece will sit lower. I also flipped the shorter pieces upside down to use the bottom design for a different look. I finalized my design and pinned every panel in place and measured the height of each one to make sure they're all the same. Take the dress off and repin any of the pieces to lay flat. Some of the pieces overlapped, so I just simply trimmed the flower off and relocated it to cover any blank areas. Next was my favorite part, sewing down the applique. If you try sewing applique on like every other project, it's going to take forever because you have to stop, lift the presser foot, turn the fabric, and so on. But if you screw the entire foot off, only leaving the needle, it's so much faster. Don't just take the presser foot off, you need to remove the entire rig, and be sure to lower your presser foot as usual before you start sewing. Now you can sew and move your fabric around in all sorts of directions, and to backstitch, just go over the same area a couple times. I'm sewing on the black tulle edge I left, and for areas where there's no seam allowance, I just sewed it directly on the design. My thread doesn't match the flowers, but it still matched the dress overall, so it wasn't noticeable. I also recommend you gently pull your fabric flat with both hands as you sew to quickly move the fabric around and see where you're stitching. For the bottom edge of the applique, I left about 1 inch unsewn and trimmed the applique to have a 1/2 inch seam allowance. Then I folded the raw edge under to sandwich it in between the skirt and pinned it in place. Lastly, go ahead and hem the applique along the very edge of the skirt. Moving on to the broken zipper, the zipper head is detached from one side because the bottom few teeth fell off. I tried reattaching the zipper head, but overall I thought the zipper was super worn out and would eventually break again, so I just purchased a new black zipper and sewed it in. Sewing it in was really easy. I lined up the zipper at the top neckline, placed it behind the center back seam allowance, and sewed straight down on the original seam line of the dress. Here is the final transformation. This was such a fun way to revive an old dress without changing too much about it, and it's perfect for the upcoming holiday. I don't think I'll have anywhere or any photo shoot to wear it for, so I might throw it up for sale if anyone's interested in purchasing it. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this little quick fix transformation. Don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the notification button so you never miss out on a new video from me. See you next time. Bye!